Welcome to Boss Up Goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women who share all their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. Today, I am so honored to invite Georgiana Kovell to our program because she is leading a worldwide movement to help women boss up, literally. It's called Millions of Women Strong, and Georgiana is such a powerhouse. We have so much to learn from her tonight. So, welcome, Georgiana.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's awesome to be here. And hello, everybody out there in YouTube land.
Georgiana, we first met in Sedona, Arizona at a retreat led by Lisa Peterson, author of The Mindful Millionaire, and it was a very transformative experience for all of us. And we've since stepped away and done amazing things. So please share what Millions of Women Strong is and why you started this movement.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start with where it started because it's transformed over the years. I guess it's been about 7 years ago. Now I moved to a new city and I didn't know anybody, and, having a business and wanting to meet some like-minded people, I started going out to different events through Meetup, networking events, and everyone was the same. I didn't feel welcomed. It was people just passing their cards out, and it was not getting me any closer to meeting people that I'd like to be friends with or hang out with. So I decided to start my own thing, and it started out actually as Women Connecting. And evolved over the years to Millions of Women Strong. It's one of those things that just kind of kept falling out of my mouth. And so it wanted to happen. And I was the vessel, maybe not the right word, but I was the conduit for having Millions of Women Strong happen. And it's evolved over the years from being just, more kind of a social thing to being more of a movement or a women's collective, as a global women's collective. And so we're a membership-based global collective for female business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders who are passionate about and strive towards achieving success on their terms. And we work all over the world. We live all over the world. And the one thing that I know and truly believe in my heart is that when there's enough women that are thriving financially, emotionally, and spiritually, the world's going to change. So
yes,
everything I do is in service of that.
I love it. I love it. So, 2021 is the absolute year of the woman. We're about to have a female vice president, and Kamala Harris. So excited about that with President Joe Biden. So, Georgiana, talk about, please, what exactly you do in Millions of Women Strong to help cultivate this female empowerment movement.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we have transformed over, like I said, but even within the last couple of years, certainly with COVID, we used to be a chapter base where we would meet in person. And of course, we can't do that anymore. So being turned into something more global, we have online events that are really geared, they're high energy. They're designed for you to connect and network with like-minded women, to find collaboration partners, but also to I don't want to call it masterminding, but that's kind of what it is. We have a sister circle where it's more of a networking kind of event, but we always have a topic so we can share ideas. The one coming up this month, we're talking about client acknowledgement and retention. Because there is brilliance among us.
Absolutely.
And creating an atmosphere where we can come together and share ideas and brainstorm together. I mean, that's it. So that's the sister circle is really designed for that. And then we also have a virtual roundtable that we do once a month. And
Oh.
that's where we bring in an expert on a specific topic. So,
Oh.
and it's still designed to be kind of high energy, more conversational than just, we have enough webinars to watch, right?
Right. But, I love how you put that positive spin on the whole pandemic with this type of endeavor because it is global and it's easy to be global on the screen. It's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
Georgie,
I was just going to add one more thing. I love being global because I've worked in my business. I've worked with clients all over the world. And the one thing that I know is that, how people do business in Australia, although it's very similar, is that we have a lot to contribute to one another in different parts of the world and how business gets done.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so unique and wonderful to learn from women around the world.
Yeah.
Now, the downside of the pandemic is that the socioeconomic impact on women has been horrific. There's some statistics that just recently came out about how more women are leaving their jobs because the impossible task of balancing a job, a home, and homeschooling kids has just been too much. So, are you doing anything or do you have any messages for women to use this time to reinvent themselves in a way that they can prosper in their own business and juggle all the things that moms, women, wives do?
Yeah. Well, I think I've heard that statistic before, especially people leaving jobs. But, it really is it's a brilliant opportunity. I mean, I don't mean to turn a positive spin on everything, but let's just look like, amazing businesses get created from times of difficulty.
Yes,
And
yes.
again, we don't just have brilliance among the members and business owners. There are leaders out there. There are people that they have amazing gifts and talents to share that, you could get into creating your own business while taking care of your kids and even homeschooling and everything that these women are now having to deal with, which by the way, I know I couldn't do. But that's a different story. But it really is an opportunity for reinventing yourself and starting something, bringing your brilliance, your magnificence, your gifts, your talents to the world. It's a huge opportunity, and being part of organizations, Millions of Women Strong is one, where we're going to have what we're calling an incubator, which is going to be taking women at different levels in business to help them get up and attain the next level. So that's kind of the cat out of the bag. That's just kind of getting in the works right now. But, getting into a supportive area where people who have gone before you can help you. So there's no reason that anybody couldn't start a business, making jewelry, selling rocks. I mean, you name it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny. I was about to ask you if Millions of Women Strong provides mentorships for veteran business women to help newbie entrepreneurs. And you just answered it.
Yeah.
Incubator. I love that. So, can you share some success stories of women who have participated in this organization and they're just rocking their world now?
Well, it's funny. I got a note card the other day. Somebody mailed me a card, and it was just a thank you card that she has, the relationships that she built has really made such a profound difference in her life. She's one of those people that she has a job, but she's she's a flower arranger. Or florist, whatever. She used to bring when we met in person, she would always bring some type of floral arrangement. And she's just gorgeous, right? Gorgeous spirit, beautiful work. But, that is an example of, she went from having just a fledgling business where nobody knew her to being the talk of the town because of, the relationships, the kindness, and everything that she showed by just showing up, and, it's different now, right? We're all online, so it's a little bit different, but, the kind of connecting with people, connected with a gal in Arizona who is, she's another coach, and being able to do types of collaborations together.
Mm-hmm.
There's an artist in Ireland, in Cork, who I'm going to be using her for doing some artwork possibly down the line. So the kind of collaborations and what people get exposed to for ideas, collaborations I've mentioned before, but just how to grow their business.
Mm-hmm.
There's been plenty of people that have increased. I don't have statistics on numbers or percentages, but
Mm-hmm.
people keep showing up, and it happens.
I love that. So, Georgiana, I've heard you speak brilliantly on integrity and the importance of integrating integrity into everything that we do. Can you talk about the importance of that? That's a message for everybody.
Yeah. Well, integrity, Werner Erhard defines integrity, different than you hear people say integrity. I have integrity, but, really as Werner, I'm going to just shorten it really briefly, but, it's kind of like, where is your word? What does your word mean? And, so in its simplest form, integrity is doing what you say you're going to do, and doing it on time, and doing what people would expect of you. And, I think that for a business owner, it's so important, because without the level of integrity at that kind of very detailed, specific way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times have you shown up for a meeting and then somebody's 5 minutes late? Or,
Yeah.
It's like, well, I was just 5 minutes late. And it's like, yeah, well, I was here on time. And so that at its basic level sets a tone. And what I say is, if you know yourself as, when you say X happens, look at the growth that you could create in your business, because you're like, I'm going to do $250,000 a year this year. If you know yourself that what comes out of your mouth, you put into existence and you make it happen, whether it be showing up at 4 p.m. or having a $250,000 year, your word has power. And that really is, for me, what integrity is. It's your word. And so where's your word? What's your word? What's the word that you're giving?
Wow, that is powerful. I love that. I love that. Words do have so much power, and words also play very strongly into our mental health. And during all the things that are happening in the world right now, our mental health is fragile sometimes. There's a lot of anxiety on many levels, fears. So, do you do anything? It seems like the collective experience would be extremely comforting and uplifting for the millions of women strong.
Well, I think, for one, so many more of us, I mean, I've worked from my home for a long time anyway, but, so many people that are working from home that are used to working in buildings with people around them, or at the very least going somewhere to work. So, the mental health of that, especially if I live by myself, I have to be really responsible. I'll just share the one that I shared with you earlier. Like, it's really real. It's almost embarrassing. I've been in my house for so long that my neighbors moved out and new neighbors moved in, and I didn't even know it had happened. So, it really is important, right, to really do something about being with people. Especially having online businesses where you used to go out and do the networking, or, go out with friends or visit with family members, or whatever that is that you probably aren't doing anymore, or at least not like you did before.
Right.
That you get into a community of like-minded people that are going to support you, that you feel safe.
Oh,
to
yes.
say, you know what, I'm not okay today.
No, no.
And I think that's so important. And that's, really one of the things that we strive at with here in Millions of Women Strong Global is that, you can come and you can say anything and know that people gotcha, like
Oh,
we're gonna catch you, we're gonna love you up, we're gonna prop you back up until you've got that power back in you. And the one thing that we know is it's temporary for most people. And
mhm.
you just sometimes need somebody to go, I really understand, I get it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So where can people find you, Georgiana?
Well, you can definitely find, we have a free Facebook group for Millions of Women Strong. So you can
Mhm.
definitely go to the Millions of Women Strong free Facebook group. And the Millions of Women Strong Global, we are in a founding member period. And, people will maybe hear this, months from now when we're no longer in founding member, but you can always go to our website and see the changes that we're doing, the different parts that we're launching. You can join on the website as well. But yeah, I think that's the best way to find out is, join the free Facebook group for sure, and
Okay.
see what's happening and come to our events and check it
Mhm.
out. And
Mhm.
we would love to see you all.
Oh, I love that. Excellent. I participated in some of your programs and I'm in the program and I absolutely just love it. It's just so uplifting and I learned so much. And you are such a powerhouse of knowledge and experience with a strong sales background, which we all need. But Georgiana, what do you think is the number one block or obstacle that most women face to starting or sustaining a business?
Oh, that's a big question. I think the biggest block in starting is having that belief
Mhm.
in yourself. It's, starting a business is risky. It takes courage to say, you know what, I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. Because you don't, really in anything, but there's no guarantee. There's there's no paycheck coming unless you make it happen. And
Mhm.
that's scary, it's scary every single time. I happen to be a serial entrepreneur and, it's taking that leap of faith and then just saying, and this goes back to integrity, doing the actions that to do to
Mm.
move that needle, and
Mm.
having that power and not feeding the disempowering conversation in your mind, and taking
Mhm.
the actions consistent with growing a business.
Mm.
So, and then keeping the business going, right? Being successful, it's the same thing. It's just a different version. Now
Mm.
you've made the leap, but who are you going to be? What are the actions that you need to take? And telling the truth to yourself, that,
Mhm.
you know, I haven't got the results because I haven't been taking the actions that I need to take, or I haven't learned how to impact the actions and get better at, as a sales coach, right? That I see that a lot. People are afraid of sales. Well, by the way, guess who you become as soon as you open your doors? You become the salesperson in your business. So
Yes.
it's there's a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different plates to spin, and women are really good at that. And being responsible for, the conversation that you're having with yourself right here is
Mhm.
the thing that usually gets in the way for most people.
Yes, yes. So what conversations should we be having? Like, is there some kind of millions of women strong mantra we can tell ourselves in the moment?
Well, I don't know, but I don't think, I haven't created a mantra for Millions of Women Strong, but, there's the mantra that I've always used for myself is, one, anything's possible.
Uh-huh.
And the second mantra, and this is the mantra whenever things are not looking like they should, or I want them to, is everything always works out for me.
Ooh, I
Because
love that.
it just does. it's going to work out however it's going to work out. And worrying about how it could, in the negative way. I think Lisa's the one who says most women feel like they're, 1 month away or 2 months away from being destitute or something. I don't know. I forget how she says it. It's much more brilliant. But, we go into that conversation of, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. But, through all the ups and downs throughout my entire life, and there have been many, and there have been big downs as well as big ups. But, I've always made it through. It always works out. Doesn't always work out like I want it to, but it always does work out.
I think one thing that really, your mantras are awesome. I love that because every woman should have a mantra or two to say in the moment. For me, it's I am goddess. And I've explained why that's the part of the title of my book, Boss Up Goddess, because it came to me years ago and it just means power and peace. And when I say it, it's like pushes a reset button in myself. And I always say similar to yours, I say everything always works out bigger and better than I ever imagined. And when you say that in the moment of extreme angst, even in the middle of an argument, if you say it to yourself, I'm telling you, it just makes magic happen to shift circumstances in your favor. It's amazing because it reprograms your thinking. And we have this tendency to go to the worst case scenario. And that's where a collective sisterhood like Millions of Women Strong comes into play, because when you bounce your ideas, your fears, your anxieties off of supportive people, a lot of times they diffuse your anxiety because they help you realize, well, that's a little overblown. I don't need to, there's a solution here. So that's why I love groups like yours that are so nurturing, and they help us sort of come back off the ledge.
Well, that's it. Sometimes you just need a sister to go, okay, wait a second. Is that really happening?
Right.
No, that's not really happening. That's just happening here. It's not really happening.
Right. See, I always say that worry is using your imagination in the wrong direction.
That's right.
And this more successful practice is to use your imagination to envision what you want.
Yeah.
And the more you focus on that, the more you can manifest it in the 3D world. It's really powerful. And then we can share all these tips and tricks with each other in a group like yours.
Yeah.
So, Georgiana, what's your biggest lesson that you've learned as a businesswoman?
Well, I think goes back to my mantra, is that everything always does work out.
Oh,
it really does. It always works out. And, again, sometimes it doesn't work out like I had planned or I'd hoped or dreamed, but it always works out. And there's always something to learn from it that has lifted up to the next level and the next level and the next level. So every pain is a lesson.
Oh, I love that. Every pain is a lesson. Absolutely. Yes, that's a perfect segue into this question. We're facing a new year when everybody makes their resolutions and they want to start all new projects and such, but oftentimes don't sustain the effort to make them all happen. Secondly, the pandemic and the surging cases, unfortunately, of coronavirus are forcing people to stay home, to stay safe. There are actually shutdowns happening. And so that's another time to reinvent, to focus, to reflect, and create something. So if someone's in that sort of incubator, as you use that word, of change and wanting to start something new, reinvent themselves, start a company, what's your biggest words of advice, strongest words of advice to them right now?
Well, I think doing some dreaming, it's aside, if you set aside creating a goal, which kind of assumes that you have to know how to accomplish that, is to really look at what is it that really matters to you in all areas of your life. What is it that really matters to you? What do you care about? That when you look out a year from now, what do you want to be saying you've accomplished?
Yes.
Now, and don't have it be a pipe dream. I've had people say, well, I want to say I've had $1 million. And it's like, okay, well, can you actually get taking the actions that you could do? Listen, anything's possible. Somebody could say, I want to have $1 million a year from now, and they could actually do it, right? It takes different actions to accomplish that thing. But if you look out and it's like, listen, my family is healthy, my kids are back to school, I have a thriving business. I never thought that I'd have a thriving business, but it has been fun. And I'm part of a community of women that, empower each other. And, we finally got to go on a 2-week holiday somewhere where I would never have been able to do if, I hadn't started my business, or, really start to look at what do you want to be saying at the end of 2021, because starting to create that now from what really matters to you, what you really care about, will start to give you a new view of actions. And here's something for people who have families. This is so much fun to do together.
Wow. I love it.
Imagine having a family vision board.
Oh my gosh.
Where you have the whole family aligned on the vision of your future, including your business. What does it look like being a mompreneur and with your husband or partner or whatever that is, or your kids, imagine creating that whole vision for a year from now of what you want life to look like, all aligned with each other. It's magical.
Wow, I love that idea. Wow. And I also love the organic evolution of a business idea from what your center point is, from your passion and what you like to do, not what's trending or what's hot or what sells. I mean, that's important. You want to be successful, but you also have to, in your heart and soul, love, love, love what you're doing, because being an entrepreneur is not easy. So
I call it bringing your superpower forward.
I love it, Georgiana. That's awesome. So can you tell us one more time where we can find you if anybody's watching and they want to connect with you and join Millions of Women Strong Global?
Yeah, well, definitely you can find me in our Facebook group all the time. So Millions of Women Strong. On Facebook is the free group, and then on our website, millionsofwomenstrong.com as well. I'm definitely not hard to find on Facebook, and I'm all over, so you can find me. And I would love to talk with anybody if you have questions about starting or even where to start or create. I love having those conversations, and would love to support any of your listeners who are like, okay, I heard you say that anybody could start something. I don't quite get it. Can you help me out? Just come talk to me. I love having those conversations because you are brilliant.
Can you talk about a conversation you're having with yourself to rev up for the next phase of life and next year and the whole new world we're creating with women? Leadership.
So I live by myself. Well, I have 2 dogs, fur babies, right? And I literally turn the music on and dance.
I love it. So, I love that.
Yeah. So part of it, right, besides changing the conversation, is actually movement, right? So, you can't be sad and upset when you're dancing, having fun. So, my dogs think, and one of them is like, she loves it. She's like jumping. She's like, Mom's partying again. But it is so, like, the conversation is how that I am always looking for is how can I have women thriving financially, spiritually, and emotionally? And everything I do in my coaching business, in my sales coaching business, and in Millions of Women Strong, everything is about furthering that. Because like I said earlier, I believe when we have reached that tipping point of women thriving, the world's going to change. We have Kamala Harris, and there's powerful women in powerful positions, I'll say, they need our help. We've got to get behind them. So everything I do is in service of that.
Oh my gosh, I just absolutely love that. So check out Millions of Women Strong because Georgiana is an absolute rock star in this realm and she's making wonderful things happen for people. And she's just has such an excellent spirit and bedside manner, so to speak, and guiding you to excel to be the goddess that you're meant to be.
Mm,
So thank you,
thank you.
Georgiana.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you all for joining us here tonight on Boss Up Goddess, where I interview trailblazing women who share their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell so you'll know every time I go live and upload a new video. Meanwhile, remember, you have the power. See you next time.